There's something sporty for y'all. The 2016 Chevy Camaro in a nice solid blue. The outside looks about the same. Nothing too much different about it except maybe that little red, white, and blue tag on it. But I don't see anything too different on the outside. Let's hop inside and see what it's working with. Well, the inside has been jazzed up a little bit. As you can see right off the gate, the steering wheel is a little different. Instead of the Chevy logo, you have the Camaro design wrapped in a nice, good feeling leather that doesn't make too much loud noise when you run your hands across it on the wheel. Cruise, Bluetooth, controls for the screen up top here. The door looks a little, aggressive. Well, very aggressive. It's a sports car. Your climate control vents have these turnstile knobs to open and close the vents. Chrome accent on the door. Fuel release is down here. Actually, that's not fuel, that's the trunk release. Automatic windows and power locks. Hard plastic across the door panel and all across the dash. This piece down here has a nice texture to it. Feels like rubberized plastic. But the whole center console is plastic, so nothing really fancy. This is, I'm sure, the base trim, but I doubt the upper trims are much different. The armrest has a soft, rubbery type feel to it. Seats are a tough cloth material, aggressive looking, low profile. There's the door from the side so you can get the full effect. Looks futuristic, sleek. But it keeps the overall same dashboard design as the last generation, just straight across, nothing real outstanding. You have the touchscreen, and much like the Malibu, the new Malibu, which I'll review later, you have a simple control system with a home button, 2 seeking buttons, and phone control with the power knob. The climate control is a little weird. It's lined up underneath. You can hardly see it. Defrost, circulation controls, or is that rear defrost? And yeah, that's just circulation control. Automatic climate control is included. Power button adjustments. Now, the vents are the same. Down here, you operate the open and close feature with the knobs. But to adjust the temperature, you turn this dial. And this controls the fan speed on this side. So that's unusual. These almost look like some kind of jet engine boosters or something like that. But that's different. Kind of big if you have, I have small hands and I'm handling it fine. But if you have extremely small hands, you'll be stretching out to operate that. Or you could just do it with your finger. It's an interesting touch. Was it necessary? You be the judge. I would say probably not. Just something to probably make it different from the competition. Huge center console. Gear shift panel. Because, in my reviews, I always call the dashboard area the center console. But I'm average, so I just freestyle. But this area is pretty wide and takes up most of the front of the cabin space. You have a drive mode selector in the middle console. You can select between sport, weather, different driving conditions. The parking brake is the button operated kind. Lock your vehicle in place if you're on a hill. Cup holders, pretty standard. Inside the armrest you have, you can hardly see it from here, but that looks like 2 USB slots, I think, down there. Basic glove box. So, it looks a little touched up, but nothing too drastic. I can appreciate the new interior, but I still think the Ford Mustang has it beat in that area. Push to start. The engine is pretty quiet, actually. It's not unnecessarily loud. They like to make sports cars loud for no reason in America. But as I was saying, you know, you adjust the climate with the knob here. And the drive mode, you can select it with the knob. Snow and ice, sport, and tour. I guess tour will be cruising. And nothing fancy about the dashboard, just white illumination on red. Leg room, not much to speak of. Of course, it's a sports car, so anybody sitting back there is going to be uncomfortable. The visibility, I mean, it's still a real low sitting car. I didn't really like the last generation Camaro because it sat so low. This one feels a little more comfortable. It still sits low, but it seems like I have a little more room in the front, at least, to sit down and stretch my legs. And the visibility seems to be a little bit better somehow. But, you know, if you don't like being in a small car, you're not gonna like this. If you have leg problems or knee problems, you might be very uncomfortable here. Let's go down and put it on the road. I'm not gonna even waste time getting in the back or doing a center console shot because I don't want to cramp myself back there. You can see what it's working with from here. And leg room in a two-door sports coupe. Don't be ridiculous. Putting it on the road, as you can see, there's a nice, easy to see camera for rear view driving, rear view viewing as you're in reverse. Let's get on the road. Well, I mean, the engine is pretty decent, but it's nothing spectacular. Once again, let me reiterate, this is a base trim, so I'm sure it has the weakest engine. But you know, the ride is still bumpy, and the visibility up front is okay. But as I'm looking behind me, see that? Still bad. So you can't really see what's going on around you too good if you need to look behind you. Real small rear view mirror, so visibility is once again not the high point, but it handles the curves and everything nicely as a sports car is supposed to. If you ride on a rough road like this, you're gonna feel the bumps, so be prepared for that. The steering wheel is a little tighter than I prefer. It's gives you a little more force. I mean, a little more fight. But it's smooth. It's just a little stiff. I guess that is so you don't get too crazy while you're driving 100 miles an hour. But the acceleration is real peppy, and the engine is actually pretty quiet. It's not like sports car loud, like for no reason. You know, I don't really like that about some sports cars. You're already driving a sports car. How much attention do you need, partner? So yeah, overall, I can appreciate the refresh. It's not too much different than the last generation, but some things are better. But the overall feel is the same. If you just got the last generation 2015 Camaro, you're not really missing out on too much. Just a few tweaks to the cabin. And the outside is pretty much exactly the same. So, what's my opinion on the new Camaro? It still doesn't beat the Mustang, so I'll give it 3 out of 5. A few tweaks here and there, but nothing to just blow your mind. But I can appreciate the touch-up, even if it was just a minuscule one Chevy. Well, I'm gonna go on about my day and leave y'all to debate my opinions on it. The Average Car Review guys signing out once again. 3 out of 5 for the Chevy Camaro, the new 2016 Camaro. And I will say, like I did in the old model review, if you can, go on up and get that convertible, because that would increase it probably to a 3.5. Convertibles, you can't beat them.